Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I vex if there's a crack. You don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, move in silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
So we have the energy of Venus. It comes through with love, but it's on the energy of a 4. 4 speaks about you being in manifestation mode, darling dears, creating some kind of structure and stability in your life, a new level of structure and stability. But remembering that what? Your health, darling dears, your physical well-being is the underpinning of everything. Without your health, you have nothing. Nothing. Okay, so we've got the energy of the 6th house and the 12th house. The 12th house is ruled by Neptune and it's Pisces energy. Okay, Neptune rules your dreams, disillusionment, but it also rules your psychic abilities, darling dears. Okay. Somebody's definitely into mysticism, spirituality. I can feel that energy. But it's also what? Somebody trying to let go of escapism in the form of possibly smoking, drinking, whatever it is you do to escape, darling dears. This is you realizing it. And you may even have an issue with your feet at this moment in time. Please excuse my stomach. Because when your stomach growls, darling dears, everybody thinks it's because you're hungry. It's not, darling dears. That's when your body starts detoxing. So, you know, allow it to growl for a few hours, darling dears. Get yourself working. As I said, your well-being is of the utmost importance. Yes, you are healing yourself, darling dears. You are. Okay, let's move this out the way and get the stands. The 12th house comes through escape, darling dears. We've got a 3 and a 6. This goes to a 9, darling dears. Somebody's about to what? End out a cycle. As I said, somebody's leaving the escapism behind. Maybe it could have been the self-talk, darling dears, listening too much to your conscious mind, which is not your amigo. The 6th house again is telling us that you will be changing up your routines. This is the seed of life, darling dears. This is a new beginning for you. We have the energy of the 3. It speaks about you being able to what? Express the things you've learned by changing up your routines, your work, your employment, going for this new training. Somebody's also going to be in the caretaking field, darling dears. You're very good at what you do. Why? Because you lead with compassion and you use your psychic abilities to discern your clients or the people that you're working with. Oh, child, use something else. You are in what? You are in what? 2030 energy, darling dears. 2030 energy. Okay, so about your employment, your health, what's going on? Let's get some intuitive cards. Your first card out, darling dears, is Judgment. Judgment speaks about what? Ending of a cycle, darling dears. It also speaks about you addressing the karma, a karmic cycle that you was possibly in pertaining to your health and your employment, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The energy of the Judgment, darling dears, it speaks about a call. This is you having a new, deeper realization, possibly even a spiritual one. On the Judgment card in Tarot, we have Archangel Michael in the background. Archangel Michael rules fire energy. Call him at any time. Love it. I don't hate it. Okay. It's also telling us, darling dears, this is a transformative time for you, darling dears, a second chance. Some of you, a partner energy is going to try and return to you over the next few days, darling dears. Why? Because you've had a change of status. Like I said, you put in your healthier choices first. Okay. Forgive the situation, whatever this past situation is. Forgive it, because why? You don't want no tie to it. Someone or someone's would definitely like a second chance with you. Let's get another card out. What's going on here? Yeah, and this person lives in, their address is dysfunction. That's 911 Freddy Krueger Avenue, 2 streets over from the loser lane in the district of the damned. Yes, baby, they're living in a mud hut. You're saying, Case, yes, a mud hut. Right? Look at P. Diddy. Isn't he living in it's a mansion, but it's a mud hut when you're doing all kinds of, what fucking ease in the background, darling dears. What's this? Abandonment. Listen, why would you want to go to a situation that makes you feel lonely? Go around people that make you feel lonely in that situation. You can do battle by yourself. Come through Shensia. Posh clap. Yes, baby. This is outrageous, darling. There's people that don't want to be left behind. They see that you're making healthier choices. 12th energy, using your discernment, your intuition. Yeah. As I said, some of you are coming out from some kind of confinement. And as I said, it could be mental confinement, not trusting in your ability or trusting in this new way of life. But you have to remember, when you are changing out your routines, darling dears, it takes 7 days for your mind to think, oh, hey, what's going on here? This is a change. It takes 21 days for it to get into a routine where it's part of your day, no matter what, right? It takes 3 months, 90 days, darling dears, more or less, for it to be your thing. So if you're at the beginning of this new level of vitality, looking at a new way of being, darling dears, do it. But you have to remember, you cannot heal in dysfunction, especially where you was abandoned or felt lonely. Why would you? Good golly and gosh. This is what? Law number 19 of the 48 laws of power. You need to know exactly who you're dealing with, darling dears. Okay, let's move on, darling dears. And the next law I'd like to say is law number 48. This is you being adaptable and on the move. Why? Change is good, big cat. My big cat Taurus placement. Change is good. All right. Let's press on. So somebody who's got dysfunction all over them, like white on rice, would like a second chance in your life as you are getting yourself back on track. Listen, whatever they're coming with, it's fake and fugazi. We've got, I don't know if you can see it, it says divine masculine, but it's in the reverse, darling dears. So it could be, listen, look what's at the top. Red flag. Listen, oi, bestie. You can do exactly what you want. I'm a pointer, not a picker, but you have free will. You've got free will. I can still use communicative dance. Right? We've got the North Node, darling dears. You're getting guidance, right? You need to recognize your position. Be fluid and what? Recreative, to change, reactive or recreating change in your life, darling dears. You're already on the good foot. Why would you want to go back to a dirty foot, darling dears? Right? The cards are saying don't give up, right? And the cards are saying it's steady growth, grow up. I said growth, right? And I wanted to say glow up, darling dears, and it got a bit squiffy. But you are definitely moving on up, darling dears, because you know what? Your health is your wealth, your gut health. And being in the wrong situations create illnesses within the body, darling dears. Suppressed emotions, feeling abandoned, being unable to speak your truth. Pay attention to the red flag, bestie. Oi, Taurus, pay attention. All right. So somebody wants to come and interrupt this feng shui moment that you're having, that you want to have for a lifetime to your old age. They want to come with some karma. Especially when you're trying to receive the dharma from the Most High, Father, God, Mother, Isis. They need more training. Maybe that's the training they need. Training to what? Stay away, right? And to be nice. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. All right. So someone wants to come and interrupt what you've got going on, your flow, right? It's fake and fugazi. So they are what? A little finger, darling dears. A hidden hand coming to cause what? Degradation in your life, darling dears. A situation that you've already healed from. Yeah, star energy. You may even have a platform. Some of you may have stepped into fame, darling dears, with this new well-being. Because as I said, you are here to inspire and teach, darling dears. You may be inspiring others with methods of healing, or putting up testimonies on your healing, or you found a new way to heal others, darling dears. You're putting it out there. It also speaks about you getting some form of benefactor, some money being poured into your situation, darling dears. The energy of the 8 is the 8th house. It's what other people's money, blood, bra, or see stream. But the 8th house is also a karmic house, darling dears. What's this card off to the sidelines? Yes, again, it's telling you to what? Keep your energies away from the hairline takers. This is also what the spiritual journey and ascension that you've actually been in. Yeah, because when at the beginning of the journey, when you was going there, you was all over the place, Taurus. You was. The temperance energy on its forehead, doing a pupper lick. That's what we call a forward roll in Jamaica. Yeah, all of this and that. It was a lot of disruptive energy. You was in chaos. You possibly was in the excess of, like I said, using some form of escapism. Yeah, because you didn't have the tools to deal with this situation. You was blocked from your intuition, from your spirituality. You didn't believe, darling dears, until you was sat down by the Most High. Yeah, told to focus, and anything you focused on, Pentacles represents your health. This also speaks about your financial stability. Well, Taurian, this is what you will go for, the comfort of it all. This is where you put your focus, and this gave you a level of healing, darling dears. But it's learning new, healthier ways to conduct yourself. And somebody wants to rain on your parade. They're wicked, they're spiteful. The devil's toenail. That's what they are. Yeah, clarify listen, you're in like Flynn. This speaks about you may even have some kind of entrepreneurial venture, darling dears. This goes to 9 of Pentacles in juxtapose. I love it. I don't hate it. It speaks about you what? Staying away from drama, blood, bra, or see stream. It's about you what? Emotionally distancing yourself, darling dears. 9 of Pentacles is about you being independent. And as I said, drama free. Yeah, your flip-flop. What's that? Your common sense is firmly on. Split the deck. 2 kings on the tableau, darling dears. Two kings on the tableau. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. 2 kings on the tableau speaks about what? A good partnership. So if you have some kind of business, darling dears, you're about to be offered a contract, something that is going to be what? Big. Big. Didn't I say other people's money? Yeah, you're going to consider this new contract that's coming towards you. This is about your employment, darling dears. Even though you may be an entrepreneur, this might be an added on to whatever you've got going on, darling dears. Some of you may even be joining a group of lecturers, a group of teachers. Remember I told you that, but this is destined, darling dears, to put that devil energy down once and for all. Yeah, as I said, moving away from codependencies. As I said, you may have had some form of escapism, but you worked hard, 8 of Pentacles, to overcome. And the devil is not welcome. Okay. This is you recovering, darling dears, once you left behind abusive situations. It was what? Scary times. It was scary times. Yeah, I can't make it up. 2 of Wands. You had to turn your back on these toxic, temporary situations, darling dears. Realize there's a brave new world out there. Yes, you did. Moving away from all of this toxicity. It wasn't easy, darling dears. But when you went, right, solo dolo, like the boys or girls of the pole, you was able to focus on yourself, right? Realize what the negative things that you was perpetrating, because when you're in a toxic situation, guess what? You do pick up some of that toxicity. This is about you being real, right? The Hermit speaks about the self-improvement, the self-examination that you did in order to attain this level of what? Achievement. Like I said, healthy achievement. This is a new beginning for you, darling dears, a full-on change for the better. And the fake and fugazi, darling dears, people that you've ended it with, World card, Major Arcana, they're still watching. Some of you are going to be planning some kind of world travel, or you're putting something out on the internet. This represents the World card. The World card is Earth and Saturn energy, as well as the fixed signs of Leo, Taurus, Scorpio and Aquarius. You were meant to be a guide, darling dears, but in order to be a guide, you have to understand your forte, which you've got a full understanding. Hermit energy is somebody who studies long into the night, like an elf. Yeah, but you're being watched, darling dears. You're being watched. You're being watched by what? The jealous Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, jealous gossiping. Jealous gossiping. This also speaks about a situation. It could have been a romantic situation, darling dears. This person was extremely verbally abusive, emotionally cold. Didn't I say the abandonment issue? You was always abandoned in that situation, darling dears, and then blamed whenever you what? Tried to make any form of protest. This is gaslighting 101. Good golly and gosh. Well, no more fighting for you. You've pushed yourself away from the proverbial table. 5 of Wands on its forehead, darling dears. On its forehead. This is about you wanting to what? Achieve a new level of harmony, but you understood peace comes from within, that big P that can't be bought or bartered, darling dears. Peace is an inside job, and you chose peace. You're not arguing with no one. And it also speaks about avoiding spiritual attacks, or maybe even sending them back. Listen, bestie, I keep telling you about the spiritual ping pong. We ain't what I used to do that, lock and bind it, darling. It didn't send it back. But locking and binding that nasty negative energy, because you'll feel it on you, darling dears. What you can do, right? You stand in front of the mirror and you wipe off your right arm, your left, and then your right, darling dears. Right? And as you're doing it, you're sending the energy away. You are locking and binding that energy, and you are releasing it to the Most High with love and light. And then give it a minute and see how you feel, darling dears. Your solar plexus is your Geiger counter. Remember I told you that? Yeah. You're about to be poured into, darling dears. 6 of Pentacles. As I said, somebody may be getting a benefactor. It could also speak about a business loan. You may even be on the internet giving out wise words, darling dears. Knight of Cups, offering healing to others. Knight of Pentacles. Well, whatever you've been working on to heal yourself and others, darling dears, it's been a long time coming. Good golly and gosh. The 2 Knights on the tableau speaks about the disagreements and the arguing that's going on amongst people that you don't have any what? That doesn't have any purchase in your life. Good golly and gosh. Remember what they did? You had to be the strongest warrior, a spiritual warrior, to bring that balance back into your life, darling dears. When we see the 9 of Wands, it also speaks about a spiritual healing. You had to go for it, darling dears. And it was also about you what? Balancing out your negative and positive energies. You stood your ground, 7 of Wands. It also speaks about the protection of your ancestral team. Yeah. And it's also a reminder to always stand your ground, big cat. My big cat Taurus placement. Always stand your ground, even if your voice is shaking. And again, it speaks about people being in competition with you, darling dears. The secret competition that you don't even know what's going on. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of gossiping, a lot of talking, darling dears. How many people are out here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just looking on the 5. Okay, I'm looking on the court cards. 5 people, many as 5 people. Okay. We've got 2 older gentlemen, darling dears. Knights. The knights could be a male or female. We've got 2 of those. We've got the Queen of Pentacles on her forehead. Yes, we have. And I also included the Hermit. Why? Because he's holding the torch and the truth roof. Pinky's up. Yeah. People disgruntled, darling dears, want to come through with their dysfunctional behavior. All because this is your glow up, a healthier way of being. And star card is Aquarius energy. Aquarius is the 11th house, the house of groups, darling dears. Groups you no longer frequent. It also looks about, as I said, people are up in uproar about your stability, how your finances, what's in your wallet, darling dears, how you're making your Skrilla.com. Why? Because Venus itself rules beauty, it rules art, it rules creativities. Venus also rules money. That's Skrilla.com, darling dears. Yeah. You are a money magnet at this moment in time. Remember, I told you that. Yeah. You are, Taurus. You are. Okay. You're extremely nurturing, darling dears. But you've learned to be whom to be nurturing to. And first and foremost, it has to be yourself. Venus is about your relationships, darling dears. You're pouring away what subconsciously no longer serves you. And what? People don't like this growth in you. Masculine energy in the reverse, darling dears. Divine masculine. This ain't no divine. This is a fakeazoid. A fake divine masculine. It's not even focusing for you to see, but it's in the reverse, darling. There's someone who abandoned you, right? But didn't want you to give up on them. They wanted you to wait like a figurine, right? A dusty figurine for them to come through again, to lay some more red flags on you to see if you'll notice, to see if you really healed from that circumstance and situation. Page of Swords in the upright, darling, is they're watching you, and it also speaks about immature energy. This is a lot of curiosity in what you've got going on. Wheel of Fortune, they come with the bad karma. They may even have a bad car at this moment in time. The Wheel of Fortune could also be something affecting their health, darling dears. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy, so they may have an issue with their liver. They may be, like I said, we saw the 12th house, overindulging, darling dears. They may have an issue with their pituitary gland. Yes, blocked off from their intuition. An issue with their thighs. I know, darling dears, it's getting real personal now. It's getting real personal now. Their womb. Oh my gosh, they're upset, darling, because the Jupiter energy, darling dears, it speaks about the they're saying if you have a platform, they are discrediting your platform. They're telling people that you're a false prophet, that you're talking shiznai, you don't know what you're talking about, darling dears. Yes, they're trying to what? Defame your character, trying to make it seem like you're not stable. How do they know what's going on in your domicile, darling dears? They're not allowed. They can't come in. Chariot energy on its forehead, darling dears. But they're defaming everything that you've built because it was what? A learning, healing, spiritual journey, darling dears, which you took to like a babe, or a duck to water. This is you looking at, look, always look to see where the faces are. This is you looking at the healing that you've managed to perpetrate in your hemisphere. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, bad luck, darling. They've got a lot of illnesses on. They may even have issues, car issues. And some of them have an issue with their stability, their home. They're not stable where they are, darling dears. Yes, and they come to what? Rob, steal, and kill. Remember, I told you that they'll betray you again. Four of Swords is telling you to what? Fall back. Relax. It's not your business. Easter Island and Stevie Wonder, give them love and light. That's two of these and one of those. Good golly and gosh. Yeah, because they're folio. The king or queen of the fools. Hell bent on repeating negative cycles. Wheel of Fortune on its face. They're toxic to the core. They haven't changed one bit, darling dears. And anything they come through to show you, darling dears, is just fake. Fake. Right? Because they feel that you can help them out. Financially, yes, spiritually, maybe even health-wise, darling dears, because your power grid is off the chain. Why? Because you've self-actualized, and it was a long time coming. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, darling dears, but you did it. You did it like a boss. Queen of Pentacles in the upright. It speaks about you being secure. The Queen soon goes up to the Empress or the Emperor. You're a natural born communicator, darling dears. You're able to put your words out, and she's holding on to a pentacle. You may even have progeny, darling dears. This is telling me that you're an excellent role model. Why? Because they watched you overcome all of the negativity. Page of Cups on its face, darling dears. Somebody may need to speak to their progeny at this moment in time. Why? Okay, then. They're spending too much time, too much energy on the internet, darling dears, and it's lowering their auric field. You've got to tell them to go outside sometimes, darling dears. Put down the remote controls and don't always hand the tablets to the babies, the bambinos, darling dears. Give them things to work with their hands and take them outside, take them to the park. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they're pure, darling dears. They are pure. Queen of Pentacles in the upright, darling dears, tells me that you are extremely practical. You understand your worth and you are in what? Boss mode. It also speaks about you making sound financial choices for yourself, right? And this is giving you a sense of self-respect, darling dears. You are achieving a financially independent status. I told you, some of you will be signing a major contract, but don't sign it until after the next new moon or around the next new moon, which will be on the 8th of May. In you, darling dears. In you. Remember, I told you that. Look at the contract again that you're going to be signing, darling dears. And the King of Swords also reminds you to what? Move in silence. Move in silence. They can feel this. Don't allow this fickle energy in. Knight of Wands, darling dears. They come to what? Bring you down, Bobby Brown. This person is also not a lover of females or males. Whatever the opposite gender to them, they don't like them. Why? Because of their mother or father energy, darling dears. Yes. They was in a situation where there was never shown love, no true communication. Why? The lovers is Gemini energy, and Gemini is the 3rd house. They weren't able to express themselves properly. They probably were shut down. Yeah, one way or another, either verbally or physically, darling dears. Something happened to them when they took a journey, some kind of journey. They had an accident. Yeah. What else? Listen. They're amongst what? Many unwashed, unclean souls. It also speaks about spiritual attachments, darling dears. I know, bestie. Best out, eh? Best off out. Lots of jealousy, lots of envy, lots of financial setbacks. And they want to come through. Good golly and gosh. Like Beetlejuice and Candyman. Listen, the karma's on them like white on rice, darling dears. You need to leave them where they are. No. This is your season. This is your glow up season, your victory lap. What you've been working so hard towards. Why would you want to go back to a situation that broke you, darling dears? Situation where you felt abandoned. Look at all of the dysfunction you've overcome, darling dears. You've come too far to turn back now. Come through, Mary, Mary. Posh clap. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. I drops me mic. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm kicking my way through these tarot streets again. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.
Hey, big cat, welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess lightworker, here to guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.